could be with anyone, you're here with me. You're here with me. You could be around for
You could be with anyone, and I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me.
Hey, what's going on, people? This is James coming live to you. Before we get started, I just have to do some things. Hopefully, I do not disconnect when I do what I'm about to do. Fingers crossed, everybody. Fingers crossed. Hopefully, everybody can hear me loud and clear. I know you guys can't see me, but hopefully, you can hear me. I see some ones in the chat. I appreciate that. All right. A little nervous. About to click this bad boy. Hello? Can you guys see me and hear me? If you guys give me a 1, let me know that you can see me and hear me. That'd be great. A little nervous. Okay. I see some ones. I was like, oh, shit. That did it. You done did it, boy. You done did it. You done messed up. First show during the daytime, done messed it up, blew it. Oh, baby. Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome. Hopefully everybody's having a fantastic Sunday, enjoying yourselves, keeping everything all the way 100% live. This is the first show after the Sister Wives season has ended. We watched the tell-all. We sat through that dry-ass season 19, and we made it. And now we're in the post-season bliss. Now, on this particular live, I'm going to open it up. We can talk about anything that you like. I'll pop this chat out. There we go. And let me see. Hold on 1 second. We can get it fired up. All right. So here we are, folks. Before we get started, I have my Monday morning motivation coming out. That will be out tomorrow. The subject matter will be, I'm going to post it on Facebook too, so you guys can see the schedule. But I have a couple videos coming out. I have the Monday morning motivation, of course, which will be talking about self-hate and the power of words. The crazy thing is that a lot of times we talk to ourselves, not realizing that, one, our brain doesn't understand sarcasm. Okay. And two, it doesn't know you're just venting. So when you sit around and call yourself stupid, you call yourself dumb, you call yourself, you make a mistake and you call yourself a loser, things of that nature, you can help to reinforce bad, not only bad behavior, but a bad mindset. And it can affect you as you move through life. So it's kind of the thing where if you think positively about yourself and you think in a positive manner, you see opportunities. If you think negatively, then everything you see is a failure. Everything you see is a loss. So I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. Then I'm also trying to work it out so I can drop a Sister Wives video where I specifically want to talk about Kody and the finances, family finances. Not just the fact that he blamed Janelle for things coming apart, but why he did it. And the fact that when we peel back the hey Valadia, when we peel back, thank you, Sharon. Hit that like button. When we peel back the veneer of everything that goes on in Sister Wives, it becomes more and more apparent that it's not just a sister wife or brown family situation. Okay, this is something that happens, and the things that happens to these women, part of the reason why I think they identify so well or so much with a lot of the fan base is because at the end of the day, there are so many things that people can look at that seem very familiar with their own situations, as well as points where you look at it and you say, either I went through that or I know somebody who went through that, or these are some of the things that I'm concerned about as I think about my kids growing up and getting involved in the dating world. So we're going to have that discussion. And I think that would be that'd be very interesting to have, like, especially when we talk about like the Brown family finances and how it trickles to other people. Because ultimately, if we think about it, Kody put himself in a situation where he was the architect of the Brown family finances. He designed it the way that it was constructed, the way it was executed. Then part of that construction, you always kind of build in a little trap door for yourself when you have these little pop-up patriarchal dictates. So thank you very much, Liz, rather. When you have these kind of patriarchal pop-up dictates, all of a sudden you build a back door in. So he built a back door. So when he goes out, he squanders the money, he spends the money, he does what he wants to do. And he set himself up in a situation where it seems as though he gave Janelle a lot of responsibility, but ultimately she was just there counting numbers. Okay, she was counting a little odds and ends. As he was spending money, she was just keeping track of the money that he spent. But he passed it off as though she had way more power than she had. So when everything came apart and everything started to come apart, he could easily step back and point to her and say, she's the reason why things fell apart. She's the reason things didn't go as well as they did. And I think that that's one aspect of it. Another big aspect that I was thinking about recently, and this is something I want to address more directly with former trad wives and people from that type of community. First, let me say off top, I have nothing against trad wives and people who, want to do the traditional families where you have one partner that goes out and works, the other partner stays home, raises kids, takes care of the household, whatever. As long as it's something that both parties agree upon, nothing wrong with that. Not at all. The one thing that I will say, though, is that as we start to push this lifestyle to young people, we have to be very clear and very careful about the illusion that we're passing on to our children. Why do I say that? I say that because when we look at some of the trad wife situations, we hold out this fantasy that in the 1940s and 50s and 60s, those old and good old days, the men would go out to work and women would stay home and take care of the kids. And this may have been true for some households, but for a clear majority of the households, both parents had to work. They were struggling. They were trying to figure out how they would make ends meet. This is something that happened. When you talk about currently, there's a whole men's movement that tries to propagate the idea that the trad wife movement, or basically what Kody Brown tried to present himself when he said in season 1, episode 2 and 3, where he talked about the family finances, and he said, "Oh, well, I go to work, Janelle pays some of the bills, Mary, she pays her bills, and me, I take care of Christine and Robyn, and they get to stay home because I'm paying for them." So he gave the illusion of the trad wife experience. And then later on, we find out that he's listening to a lot of the manosphere stuff, which pushes the trad wife experience. They say that, partly people are depressed and women are having experienced higher rates of depression because they've been forced to enter into the workforce, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And men are depressed because they can't find the women, more traditional women, good girls, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The funny thing is, to me, is that one, I do think people are more depressed. I think women are more depressed. I think men are more depressed. And I think that they're more depressed, not because women can't stay home because they're forced into the workplace because of feminism or whatever. I think everybody's depressed because our costs of living have shot up. You get way less for way more when you go to the grocery store, you go to the gas station, you go to your work, you go to your job, you work 40 hours, 60 hours a week, you have a part-time gig, and you do Uber Eats or some kind of hustle man job, gig work, where you're doing like another job and you're still not making ends meet. That would make anybody depressed. That would make anybody sad. And as we start to push some of these young ladies, or encourage some of these young ladies to trust in a guy to take care of them financially, we have to recognize that dollars are not going as far as they used to. And there's not a whole lot of guys who make enough money to where he could not only provide for himself, but be able to provide for somebody else, as well as for for his children. On top of that, there's not a whole lot of guys who have that going on. So we just have to recognize that part of it. And then there's also the idea that we also have to encourage not only people to have relationships, but encourage them to have healthy relationships. One of the things that really struck me, especially when we talk about Kody and the family finances and the way the family was set up, so much of the family was set up to meet his needs. So when we talk about like how many times have we listened to these women talk about how hard it is for Kody to go to work, and he goes to work and he does all these things and he's so present for his kids and he's always there for his kids. And then we see that he has these like little outlets. So he'll go to the range, or he'll go and he'll have like a motorcycle or a convertible car because he works so hard. He takes care of his family. That premise right there, if we extrapolate that little thing, did it strike anybody funny that, okay, Kody's the only one who's entitled to a day off? He's the only one entitled to a midlife crisis vehicle. He's the only one that gets that. The ladies who are taking care of these kids 24/7, taking care of the house, cooking his meals, they're not entitled to a break. But Kody, he does 8 hours of work, come home, and because he pats a kid on the head twice and he can remember all his kids' names, now all of a sudden he's entitled to making sure that his dreams are being met. My whole thing is if you're going to encounter these types of relationships, it would make more sense to me. It would make more sense to me, especially in these expansive families where you have like a polygamous lifestyle, that if we're going to make these types of sacrifices, we should all be able to realize the things that we want out of life. We should all be working towards making sure that I get the things I need, you get the things you need. I'm working to make your dreams come true. You're working to make my dreams come true, and we're building each other up. Too often, these families are set up in a way where one party, usually the husband in a traditional family, his needs are being met, and everything is geared towards making his dreams come true and making sure his needs are being met. And I don't think that in and of itself serves the family. It serves him for sure. Like, Kody was winning. He's still winning. As Janelle said in the tell-all, Kody always finds a way to win or get more than everybody else. Right? But when you think about the wives and the women who are involved, his partners, when you think about his partners, they're not winning. They're losing. They're coming in second, third, fourth place, So it's not a even keel thing. And then we can make the excuse like, well, he goes out and he earns money and he brings bring home the bacon. I could fry it up in the pan. But at the same time, if you're putting more value on me bringing money home, because I do bring money home, or I go to work and I bring money home, and so therefore I'm more valuable, then aren't you saying that your job is less valuable? By definition, he needs a break because he works 8 hours a day. What about the wife who not only works 8 hours a day because she's wakes the children up, gets the kids off to school, if they're going to school, if they're still home, she's taking care of kids all day. Then she has to make sure she's cleaning the house. She has to make sure that the food is prepared. Oh, but before she can make sure the food is prepared, she got to go out and buy the damn food. She got to go food shopping. Then she has to get load and unload the groceries from the car. She has to bring them in. She has to make sure that the kitchen is all set up so she can put the food away. Then she has to clean the kitchen so she can start cooking dinner, get that dinner on the table. Then she has to go pick the kids up, take care of the kids, take care of homework, make sure that all that's done. When he gets off work, he comes in the house off from work, so he gets downtime and he gets to relax. Meanwhile, she has to make sure that he's comfortable because he worked all day, which means that technically she's still on the freaking clock. And she stays on the clock until the time that he goes to bed. And then she can maybe, if she stays up later than him, she maybe get an hour to herself to make her dream, work on herself and make her dreams come true, or time to relax before she goes to bed and does it all over again. On his job, he gets at least 2 days off. What day does she get off? If she's a homemaker, what day does she get off? The weekends? Let's say it's a traditional Monday through Friday deal. He works Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. 9 to 5? He gets all work. He gets the weekend. He gets to go fishing, hanging out with the boys, go bowling, go hang out at the bar, relax. The kids are home. So guess where she's at? She's working. So what day does she get off? He gets a week vacation, at least a week, 2 weeks vacation, at least. What vacation days does she get? And this is the thing. Like, this is where it just, kind of grates on me. If you have a partner, now clearly, if you have a traditional family, you're living that traditional lifestyle, and everybody's needs are being met, when he goes to work, he comes home and he helps out with the kids. Because he recognizes that you've been working all day. You've been taking care of things all day. And maybe it's not bringing in money, but it's still work around the house. And at minimum, it's what you agreed to. So I think that that's a point. But I think that moving forward, a lot of my videos will reflect a lot of that cross society observation. So when I talk about Sister Wives or 90 Days, it's not just going to be about those particular characters or those particular instances. It's going to be how does this reflect this reality show, or this premise or situation or storyline in this reality show reflect to bigger lifestyles, life choices, things of that nature. I think that that's important. Like, because it's easy to look at Mary as a perfect example. I see you, Lizzie B, with the emojis. It's easy to look at Mary and say, I don't understand why you didn't leave and how you gonna let Kody mistreat you all this time. And meanwhile, a lot of us are stuck in relationships or jobs or friendships where you could, as an outside person, I might look at that and ask you the same damn question. Why are you still in that relationship? Why are you going to wait around till they cuss you out and tell you to go? So I think there's a lot that we can learn from watching these ladies and their lifestyle choices and things of that nature. Let's see, we're missing Pink Butterfly. She said that we're missing a religious factor in all this. I think the religion plays a role in it, but I also think that the religious role that is played is more in a secondary or supplementary position. So you have a position where, like, for instance, you have a position where the ends justify the means. So you come up with a conclusion already. Men are superior to women. Men need to be taken care of by women. And then you just find said belief system in your Bible, right? To support your position. And I think that that's what happens in some of these situations with some of these religions. Like, they use the book to support a feeling that they were going to have regardless of whether the book said it or not. Right? Because at the same time, I mean, if we're going to keep it all the way a buck, let's keep it all the way a stack. If we sat here and pretended like these people are devout religious people, they're devout religious folks. They believe in the Bible 100%. They're only finding the the messages about polygamy or how to treat women and how to conduct their lives from the Bible, because that's what they really believe in. We would also have to accept the fact we would also have to accept the fact that they don't follow their book, you know, because as much as we can sit here and talk about, Jesus never said nothing about polygamy. He didn't say go out and get as many wives as you possibly can so that you could get into heaven. That's not Jesus, right? They say they believe in Jesus. Jesus never said that. But oh well, John Smith said it. Okay, fine. Okay. John Smith said it, or whatever. But then when we consider the fact that, what did Jesus say about the poor? Blessed are the poor. To yours is the kingdom of God. You know, when he talks about it's harder for a rich man, talks about poverty, and talks about wealth. Jesus never said go out and get as much money as you possibly can, or use your wives, or use your advantage within the church to acquire as much property as you possibly can. Screw over your wife, your kids, your other wives, your family, friends, to try to acquire as much as you possibly can on this earthly realm. That's not in the Bible. So my question is, if it was such a strong belief system, it was such a strong push towards a faith, and the faith is what guides them and is only the pure idea of the faith, then they're not following their text. This isn't my text. This is their text. So they're not following their text. So this is why, not to go crazy on Pink Butterfly. She's 100% right that I think religion does play a part, but I don't think that religion is absolute as we try to push it. As people from the outside, we try to give them the grace of saying it's a religious belief, but at the same time, there are a lot of dictates within that book that they don't follow. But somehow, some way, when it comes to you subjugating your family, subjugating your wives, taking advantage of them, reaching financial gains, reaching financial ends, getting financial advantage. Now all of a sudden it's, this is what the good book say. The good book say that the man is the head of the family, and that's what it said, and that's where I start to beg questions, because I think that ultimately, one of the most powerful things, and you have to be very careful, like when it comes to religion, at least from my perspective, when we talk about religion, you have to be very careful about how much deference you give to religion, because, the Bible can be a shield or it can be a sword. And this is for any religious text. You can use the religious text as a power move by simply saying that, it's a source of encouragement. It can be a source of power. It can be a source of comfort to folks, but can also be a huge source of oppression, because you can take from the Bible what you want to take from the Bible. You can find a little verse that nobody makes a connection to and just read the little part of it and then say, this is what it says. Oh, if you look back in the Bible, Solomon had concubines and wives. Abraham had multitude of wives. Moses, David had wives and concubines. And because it appears in the Bible, then it's okay. They were prophets, and I too am a prophet, so therefore I should be allowed to have wives too. Like, you can make it, you can flip and flop it any way you want. And as long as you dress it up and you put it on to God, which is something that puts it in a position where it cannot be questioned, then all of a sudden you cooking with grease. And I think that happens a lot of times when we talk about like some of this. That's part of the reason why I'm very hesitant to give them that cover or provide them that cover, because I think that what it comes down to is they decided that they were going to be a certain way, live their lives a certain way, and they use the text from their religious doctrines to justify the things that they wanted to do. It's not something that they drew off of and they said that, oh, I was sitting there weighing my life and I read this particular passage and that made it clear that this was the appropriate way for me to live my life. I think it comes down to a point where you're taught, and that's part of it too. It's not just the religious text, but it's also the community and the place where you grew up, you're taught that, men are better, men are superior. Women are born to make men happy. You're born as a tool for men in our pursuit of happiness and reaching a higher plane. And so your job is to be of service. And that's the position that they take within their religion, and they apply that to their daily living. And I don't think that it started out that way, if that makes sense. So I mean, I understand what I get it. Like, I think that you can give some deference to people's religion and how they grew up and how they were brought up and things that they were taught and indoctrinated into. But at the same time, I don't think that this is as pure as, well, that's just a religion, so we got to let it go. I mean, I do, like I said, I think that is part of it. But let's see. What is this? I see Barry's want to be further along uh, in healing than she is, as tries to come off as such. Yeah, yeah. You know what? I think that because there's a big thing now where they're saying I think that there's a thing where people are trying to say, like, season 20, it's going to be about Mary. She found a boyfriend or some shit. And, it's kind of that point where it was kind of cool to watch Christine's relationship develop. I don't necessarily want to see it again. It'd be cool with me if Mary came out and said, yo, this is my fella. I'll be cool with that. Like, I'm cool with that. I don't need to see, like, I'm going on a date with John. I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, she already had Amos and she had another dude that she dated. I don't think it's that big a deal because she's not with Kody. It's not her striking out. You're free. You're out. So her dating is just part of her life now. Like, and I don't think it warrants a show, but at the same time, I don't think it warrants a whole lot of criticism either. Like, it's not something that we can really look at. I mean, it's cool if she did. I hope she did find somebody. I hope she's happy, whether she found somebody or not. I want her to be happy. I want what I want for anybody, that they be happy. And if you find somebody to share your life with, that's awesome. Okay. Bonus. But if it's not required. I don't think it's required. And I don't think it's fair to anybody to make that a requirement of your happiness, that you have to have somebody, which is kind of weird too. Like, because if Mary found somebody, cool. If she didn't find somebody and she doesn't want anybody, cool. Like, I'm like that with Janelle. Like, Janelle's not looking for anybody. And I'm cool with her. And I'm happy for Janelle. Like, she's living the life she wants to live. And I'm happy. I'm happy for her. Like, live your life, girl. Live your life. Like, you spent enough time trying to make somebody else happy. Find time to make yourself happy. And if you going out, getting a man break you down every once in a while, somebody to creep through, once or twice a week, and then he go about his business, you go about your business, and both of your needs are being met, and you're fine with that because you living your dream life, you spending time with your kids, you get to spend time with your grandkids, and you get to cultivate and raise your family the way you choose to do that, and that makes you happy, then more power to you. More power to you. If Mary wants to find a man, like Christine, she wants a man. She in a weird way, it's like I don't want to diss Christine, but it just seemed like she needed that. And she's just one of those people that needs that companionship, which is, it is what it is. Some people were born in pairs. So she needs that companionship. And she has it in David. Cool. And she's happy. Cool. Awesome. Janelle doesn't have anybody. So that's where it gets a little weird for me. And I can see that might be a point where it becomes a little bit of a sticking point later on down the line between Janelle and Christine, because it seems like Christine is trying to push her into what makes her happy. Right. And Janelle is happy as I get the feeling that Janelle is happy as hell. Okay. Janelle's happy as a fat cat in the aquarium with no lids on the tanks. You understand what I mean? She's just there fishing. You know what I'm saying? She's living her life. And I'm happy for Janelle. I think that that's awesome. And I think that there's a certain power in you being able to stand in a room by yourself alone and liking a person who is there with you. Like if you're keeping you company and you're cool with keeping you company because you like you are so far ahead of somebody who loves being with John or Tom or Smith or Frank or Lou or Betty or Jen or Susie, and they have to have somebody else there to make them happy. You're so far advanced than them. It's crazy. You understand what I mean? Like to me, you know, be happy if you like you enough. That's a huge first step. Because how you gonna get somebody convince somebody to like you and want to be with you if you don't like yourself? You know, be cool with you. You know, that's where I'm at. Um, yeah, Mary said, "I'm happy. I like me." Yeah, who you telling? I like me. YouTube's my time machine called Earth Mama. Yeah. I like everything from the earth: wine, whiskey, sex. All right, Janelle, I see you. She's like, I'm about that life. And that to me, that's cool. Like, I think that's overall, I think that would be Janelle. Like, if the show, I know I talked about like the show ending all the damn time, but I feel like I'm beating up on them at this point. But if the show were to end, I would be okay with it ending where it is right now, especially with, Mary, she's out doing her own thing. She's traveling, she's seeing the world. That's what she always wanted to do. Good for you. Find yourself, heal yourself, take care of yourself. Christine, she found somebody who cares for her because that was something that was important to her. Girl, you go. Janelle, she found like property, land. She's able to be with her kids and set up a homestead or a piece of land that for her kids for them to be able to her kids and her prospective grandkids can come down. They can all go hiking. She has enough land that they could go if they walked around like 159 acres. They could walk. Okay, they could be out there for days and days and days. And she likes camping. She could camp on her own property. Okay, and she could live that life that she's always wanted to live. That sounds awesome to me. I'm happy for her. And I think that that's what it's all about. Like, it's not just about like, the money stuff is nice. And I hope that they do get the money fixed. But ultimately, I'd rather have them have their dreams come true, things that they've always wanted. I'd rather see that than them get a piece of Kody pass. Now, I'm glad they got to cut a Kody pass. But if given a choice, I would much rather see them be happy living out their dreams and things that they couldn't do when they were with Kody, as opposed to just getting some of the stuff that they shared with Kody. And in some cases, like I said, with Janelle, with Christine, financially, they're doing way better without Kody. Funny how that shit worked out. And I'm going to talk about it in my financial movie, in my financial videos. What's this? Mary would manage to screw up any advantage she had, gets in her head, and is not authentic and still sips for Kody. Yeah. I mean, you know what? That's one of my concerns. I'm not gonna lie. Like, even as I watch her and she comes out and she does the whole like I'm free, I do what I want to do. Screw Kody. I'm my own woman. She goes to does the videos and the interviews. Like, part of me I see the pain. I see the desperation. I see the longing. I don't even say it's desperation as much as the longing and desire. And when I talk about like the whole Kody entrance into it, that's the part that makes me nervous. That's the part that makes me think that, if he called up and said, Mary, woman, I've been thinking about you. I've been missing you. And I want you. He do the was it that old time convict, the booty bandit. Girl, I'm gonna tell you right now, I likes you and I want you. We could do this the hard way, or we could do this the easy way. Hi, Chris Handsome. You understand? I mean, if given a chance, like I think she would, she would go and get Kody. But what's this? Mary's positivity. Ooh, Mary's positivity is fake. She's not fooling anyone. Pink butterfly. Woo. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Guess Mary ain't coming on my show. But that's okay. Look, I think that that's part of the problem or some of the challenges that Mary actually has, especially as she starts to move into this next phase of her life. I think that that's one of the big challenges is that it doesn't come off as authentic. It doesn't come off because of the way she left the relationship. It doesn't come off as much of a choice as much as your situation. Okay. Like it's if you had a job and you got called into the office and they told you that you don't work here no more, right? Like that, you not working there anymore is not your choice. So like your stories of like, man, I was tired of working there anyway. That's why you kept showing up. That's why you put up with so much bullshit. That's why you were dependent on that check. When it came to Mary, I don't think it was as much she was dependent on the check, but she was always there for the opportunity to get back in with Kody. And speaking of getting in with Kody, I'm also dropping a video on Cody and Robin's little meeting lie. And we're going to talk about it, not just from the perspective of, oh, Cody and Mary lied or Cody and Robin lied. No. We will talk about it from the perspective of the Brown family lied. And we're really going to hold everybody to account, because at the end of the day, there are characters on the show that I do clearly have a preference for, right? Christine, Mary, Janelle, OG 13, like there's people on the show that I do have a preference for. But I have to be honest, okay? And if I wasn't calling balls and strikes, I wasn't keeping it 100, I couldn't do this. So I'm gonna have to put it where it is. Mary and all of them sat there and listened to that bullshit ass lie that Mary and Kody, especially, is more or less on Mary, Kody, and Christine, or not Mary, Kody, and Christine, Mary, Kody, and Robin, than it is on because I don't think that Janelle or Christine knew about how Kody met Robin. I don't think that was a thing. I think Christine legitly found out, like when Christine said, I never heard this. I never knew that they met in church. What do you mean they met in church? I think that was a bullshit lie that they were telling Christine and Janelle. I think it was a bullshit lie that they continue to tell to the church so that it wouldn't come off as Kody being lecherous. 100%. I think that that's something that also it carried over to the show specifically because of how dirty it looked. Because that shit is dirty. Okay. And I'm going to give you a little preview because, that's what I do. My wife said I shouldn't do this, but I do it anyway because I talk too damn much. But whatever. I just tell you what I think. I tell you what I think. I keep it a buck. Here's what I think. I don't think that it was just a church thing. I don't think they met like, oh, we met on Sunday and then we went back into a party and the next week they had a party and then we went to the party and then the next day we were driving around town and we just happened to run into Robin leaving the girl's house. I'm calling bullshit on the whole thing. Okay, because I said before, I was the first one that I ever heard question how they met. 100%. I was the first one that I know about the question how they met. And I said, this story don't sound right. This don't even freaking sound kind of right. There's a whole lot of things that would have to happen that would be too much of a damn coincidence. And I just don't believe in coincidences for this to work. Here's my thing. At this point, especially with how Kody relishes it and revels in it, and the fact that he's starting to acknowledge some of what's going on, I think that one of two things is possible from that story. One, Robin is super duper super duper duper conniving. She's a conniver. She's a super conniver. Okay, because she knew that they were about to get a show. She went down there and she started putting herself in places where she was going to run into the guy who was going to get a brand new show. Or she knew about the show before everybody else knew about the damn show. Because this church, like we talked about the religion and stuff, these aren't huge communities. And if they were about to get a TV show talking about polygamy, this is something that affects not only their church, but it affects their entire community. The entire AUB community was at risk when they came out. Because like it or not, the state didn't pursue charges because the state chose not to pursue charges because that wasn't part of their practice at the time. But if they wanted to be full jerks about it, try to clean that up. If they wanted to be full jerks about it, Kody and them could have got prosecuted full on. And when faced with the level of time that they could have tried to throw on top of his ass, plus the loss of his family, that's how people start talking. That's how prosecutions work. They get your ass in there on some stuff. They start getting them cops start talking to you and tell you, look. Here's what it is. We got you 15 years. Okay, you're about to have a baby. You're not going to, by the time you eligible to get out of jail, that kid is going to be able to drive to the damn place and pick your ass up because he's driving now. She's driving now. Truly would have been driving by the time your ass get out of jail. So you got a choice, Kody. You could either tell us, we're going to give you a pad and a pen, and you write down every polygamist that you know. Husbands, wives, kids, whole family true. Days they got married, if you know it, addresses, phone numbers, etc., etc. And we're willing to cut you a deal. And let me ask y'all this. With what we've seen about Kody Brown on the Sister Wives show, how many people in this room legitimately think my man was trying to go do time for somebody else? Especially if they gave him the damn key. They gave him the golden ticket to get his ass out of trouble and said, you can go home today. If you fill this pad out with good information, your ass can go home today and be with your family. And we'll come get you in the scoop up, and you'll serve a little time, maybe till 2-3 years. But you ain't going to do this 35 we plan on throwing on your ass. Here, give me that pen. That dude would have wrote that pen out of ink. He'd have wrote that shit out of ink. He'd be like, they're scratching that pen. Look here, I need another pen. I need a couple pens, more pads. I think you would have told on everybody. That's the first thing. So everybody would have known about it. And when everybody found out about it, he probably had a couple ladies in that damn church smiling in his fucking face. Let's be honest. And that relationship they had, I could see that being before. I think that relationship was older than what he was talking about. That's the feeling I got. Because even then, like, oh, okay, all of a sudden they had she got the thunder cooch and he got the magic sparkle back. You know what I mean? The tingling in his nether regions. And all of a sudden we're in love. And like Christine said, oh yeah, he was very familiar in a bedroom. Yeah, that shit don't come just because he's knocking her off. Comfort and familiarity with people comes from you spending time with those people, with said people. So, like I said, that relationship might have been going on for a little longer than they all planned. Mary might not know how deep the shit go. That's what I'm saying. Like, she got pulled in because that was something that they kind of worked out. Well, let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link. Just so you guys know, we're gonna run a tight 3. So make sure if you call in, you have your points lined up. Because I got to run a tight 3 because I want to try to get as many people in as possible. We're going to do a 2-hour cutoff for folks. So it is pinned to the top. The link is pinned to the top. All right. Yeah, but I do not trust that. You know, I don't trust that. Like, it just, like, once you start, and that's the whole thing. And this is where Kody and them messed up. Y'all messed up. Because once you've established that the entire basis of your show was a lie. I never loved these women. I never loved these women. That's a lie. Then you come back and say, oh, the way that I met my fourth wife, that's a lie. The fact she picked her dress, that's a lie. The fact she picked her ring, that's a lie. How much we loved each other and cared for each other, that's a lie. How we tried to spend time with each other, that's a lie. The fact that we all lived in this big ass house in Lehigh, that's a lie. Like lie after lie after lie. And then you're gonna try to say, oh, you know what? Well, what I need to do, film another show. For what? You're a damn liar. So anything you put on the show, I wouldn't believe. I would think your entire show is made up. It's all storyline. The storyline created by the producers. And that just doesn't work. So I don't know what to tell you, bro. You know, it just, yeah. YouTube is my time machine. Now he did love him. No, I changed my mind. I did love him because he got the reason why he said, and let's be honest. And here's what's kind of killing me too. Let's be honest. The only reason why he's saying now he changed his story back to, no, I did love him back in the day. I did love him when I first met him. I just didn't know what love was. He said he loved him, and then he take it away. The only reason why he's saying that he loves him now is because he got such a big pushback from the fan base. The fan base has said, no, this is a stupid. That's why he's all of a sudden, yeah, I loved him. Because the fans were like, what do you mean you didn't love him? That's ridiculous. Why would you say that? And the fact that the fans were outraged. And these are the people that he needs to win over. And I mentioned that in my upcoming video too. Like the fact that we push him down the shelf, I'm giving you guys little nuggets of what's coming. But because it's a little rough, this video is going to be a little hard on Kody. But it's going to be hard on the Kody. But but when push him down and shove, I think that there's a point where, especially as we talk about patriarchy and more to the point we talk about misogyny, I think that when push comes down to shove, Kody recognizes that this specific show, and his fame is tied to a medium which is consumed primarily by women. And I think that ultimately he doesn't respect the fan base of the medium that he is a part of. He doesn't respect the women. And so he feels like he can come out and look down the barrel of the camera and tell a bullshit ass story, a bullshit ass lie, then get caught lying, turn right around and tell you, okay, yeah, I got caught lying, so what? He's treating, and I say this in the video, he's treating us like we're the fifth wife. Because the shit that we heard about Christine marrying Janelle going through and how he used to gaslight them, that's exactly what he's doing to us. That's what he was doing to us on during the tell-all. And I couldn't, to be honest with you, I didn't put my finger on it right away. But as soon as I realized that, like, this mother, he's treating us like we married to his ass. The big secret is, cuz I'm not trying to date you. I don't need you for your money, and I'm damn sure not trying to screw you. So when push comes down to shove, all the things you use to hold yourself over these ladies has no effect on me. But all I do here is your bullshit ass stories. And to be honest with you, I think that when it comes to questions of, do you respect him as a man, and he's a man, and he's the man's man, and all that other stuff, I don't respect a boy who pretends to be a man and he lacks integrity. If you're going to sit there and try to hold yourself out, and you're going to sell a product, and the product you're selling you don't believe in, but it's okay for you to sell it because you think that you're just a salesman and it's just a product, and you don't believe in the thing that you're saying, you don't believe in the stuff that you sponsor, then you, sir, lack integrity. You lack integrity. There's a reason why, guys. There's a reason why I get sometimes every now and again, you know, it's funny because I get the email, you just doing this for the money. I get the emails where people ask me to sponsor certain products. I get the emails when people ask me to say, oh, I use this, that, and the other, and you guys should use it too. And they offer me money. And I turn them down because if I don't believe in the product, I don't believe that the thing will actually benefit you or help you, I wouldn't recommend it. If you weren't paying me, if I get paid to do a recommendation, or if I recommend anything on this channel, it will be something I believe in. It's something that I would recommend for free. But I'm not going to take money to recommend some shit that I wouldn't believe in. I don't believe it's going to help you. I don't believe it's like, oh, yeah, go ahead and play casino on your phone. It'll be great. Yeah, it's just a convenient way for you to go bankrupt. So, no, I'm not going to tell you to do that shit. What the fuck does that look like? I'm going to tell you on the motivational video, oh, yeah, take care of yourself. Make sure you take care of your family. Make sure you handle your business. And oh, yeah, by the way, this is sponsored by motherfucking gambling kings. They got a little mortgage application where you could lose your home. Like, how the hell is that helping you? So no. And I do that because at the end of the day, I like to, I do my best to put out the stuff I say I'm gonna put out, but when push them down the shove, I want to act with integrity. I want to have a certain code of responsibility to the people who I talk to and the people that I speak for, the people I speak and give messages to. I'm not going to put my name on every fucking thing just because you throw me some shekels or some nickels. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And Kody, if you don't believe in the stuff you're talking about and you do it anyway, then that's a question of your integrity, homeboy. That's a question of your integrity. Sorry, not sorry. And if you don't respect the people that I'm on this reality show, stay up all my life because you guys are all busybodies. If you don't respect what you're doing and you don't respect the people who are watching your little show, take your ass off the show. Quit the show. Go back to work. Do your businesses. You said you got all these business ventures and shit. You such a great business mind. Go do that stuff. Go do that stuff. But you can't sit here and disrespect your fan base and wonder why people are rejecting your little bullshit ass stories. Oh, people hate love. They just rise against the love. No, asshole. What they rise up against is somebody sitting there trying to feed them a whole line of crap and telling them that it's goddamn fruity pebbles or some shit. Oh, it's just Fruit Loops. It's just brown because that's the way it is. No, we just don't like being lied to. If this is your life and you're saying this is your life and I'm watching it and then I say, whoa, you need to be held accountable for the things that you presented on your show, and you say, oh, yeah, that's not my show, so therefore I'm not taking no accountability, then what are we talking about? And if we keep it all the way a buck, if I really want to get mad and think about it, you guys lied for 15 damn years. And if we really going to dig into it, you guys held out and held up a life and lifestyle and try to put it in a positive way. Polygamy is a positive thing. You make your dreams come true. It's awesome to be a part of. Blah, 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 blah. And then you turn out and none of you actually live in polygamy. And those that are living polygamy, the OG3, they all trying to work together. They're getting screwed over because they're working with somebody who's working against them. But he's the main one out there talking about how great polygamy is and how he should be. Remember when he was doing, I got to get to these callers, but remember when he went down and he was supposedly doing the political stuff? And he was talking about, oh, yeah, they're trying to tread on my rights. And he's trying to do trying to sound like the polygamous Martin Luther King Jr. They're trying to get my rights. And I told them that I'm going to rise up from the mountaintops and all that bullshit. Look. What are you talking about, Kody? Now all of a sudden, I would never get married polygamy again. I would never do it again. But 10 minutes ago, you was Mr. Freedom. Oh, you can't tell me who to love and how much people I could love, and this should be legalized. But if it was legalized and these women, could you imagine, Kody, if you was actually successful? What would have happened if you would have took your ass to Utah and one of them legislators came out and said, you know what, dude, you right. We need to make these women legitimates. And by making them legitimate, all of a sudden it gave them legal rights. Could you imagine what happened when Christine talked about she was leaving? Could you imagine what would happen when he kicked Mary's ass out? The one who was there from the beginning of the family? Try to go on the court and argue that somebody who was there from the beginning don't deserve none of your money. Good luck with that bullshit, cuz. Or you sit there talking about when Janelle leaving. I lost 3 of my wives. Now I live in a box. You know, it'd be a nice box. Probably be one of them Frigidaire boxes, one of them big refrigerator boxes. You know, you cut another hole in it, you have 2 rooms. It'd be incredible for you and Robyn. Oh, but that's right. Robyn will leave your ass. I don't know. You know what? I said that before. Then I'm going to get to these calls. One of the craziest things, it can even talk about like that legislation stuff that they were trying to pass. We're gonna legalize polygamy. We're gonna legalize polygamy. we praying that we can legalize this and make it great. One of my favorite things about that, you talk about my personal faith. We're talking about religion, my personal faith. Sometimes you be praying, Lord, please let me do this. Please, Lord, please. Lord, look up there, be sitting there, be like, this dummy keep asking me for that. If I give him that shit. I remember my dad, we had weight sets when I was a kid. Actually, I got a weight set down in my basement now, full gym in my basement. But when I was a kid growing up, we had weights in the basement, weights, punching bags, heavy bags, speed bags, all that stuff. But we had like bench press weights. We put the weights on and do the bench press. And I never forget it. Like I loaded that damn bar up, tried to get it up. I was like, oh, if I could just get it over that little lip, that bar over that lip, I'll be able to do the bench presses. And I thought about that shit. I was like, you know what? God saved my life that day. Because he said, you dummy, if you can't pick it up, how the hell you gonna put it back? You're not thinking about what you're asking me for. You're asking me to help you get it off, and all you're gonna do is choke yourself out in this basement by yourself. That's it. And that's exactly what I think Kody was doing when he was going to Utah, talking to them legislators. He was asking for something that if it would have came to fruition, he would be currently today. Some folks are like, I wouldn't watch this show unless they was poor as hell and they trying to figure out what they're going to do with they snap money. If they would have been successful, Kody today would be bankrupt. If the OG3, Kody, Robyn, they all would have went to Utah, talked to the legislator, and you know how you talk about, oh, I kicked Utah's ass. I can't never go back to Utah because I kicked their ass. If he really kicked their ass, he would be bankrupt right now, today. Because when them women got finished, when them courts got finished cutting his money up, my man's pockets would have been turned out. And in fact, he wouldn't even have no pants. Okay? So, I'm just saying. That's a good question. Would y'all, Wendy Smith had a question. Would y'all want the talkbacks excluding Big G out of respect? To be honest with you, the weird part is, I don't know. One, I don't think Robyn would sit through a damn talkback or even a look back. Like she'll just sit there and, I can't answer this. I can't look. That dumb shit. And then Kody will sit there and make excuses. Why we keep going back and talk about the other wives, blah, 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 blah. You know, so I don't know how successful it would be. And to be honest with you, in season 19, I don't know if they actually covered enough actual material to have a talk back or a look back. Because they covered a lot of the big stuff, the heavy stuff, like Cody Pass and what the conversations were for Cody Pass during the season and during the tell-all. And they just didn't have it. Like, this was not an action-packed season. So, I mean, I don't know. If they could somehow force Kody and Robyn to actually answer questions, I will be interested. But I don't know how much of this season they could actually use. But let me get to these calls. First up, we got, let me adjust my sound because That shit'll be crazy. Daisy, if you want to call back. But first up, we got Negla. Wait, hold on. Let me get my joining up. 1 second. If you guys want to hit me in, we got some time. Got some time. Just go to the link in the chat. We could do that. Coming up, we got Negla.
Hey, James.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey, dear, I'm here. You know what? Why you always got to say some nonsense and then drop the link? Because I had everything I wanted to say. I didn't even have to type it this time. And then you going to say she had the thunder coot. I mean,
Tell you.
oh, my God. When I tell you, you got me over here crying.
Half the people were like, "Oh, screw him! Too far, go too far."
I can't with you. Oh, you do that every single time. I promise you. But anyway, now this is what I did want to say. I had to type it out because you had me so distracted. But Thundercoot, Lord, now I'll be saying that all week too. So I did have, and this is going back to something you said initially, and I had thought about it, and I was supposed to call in on for the Thursday, leave a message. But one observation that I had was that if you think about it, all three women poured their lives and all of their money into the family, even to the expense of some of their retirements and things like that. The only two that never had to give up a damn dime or anything like that or come off anything was, of course, Robyn and Fauntleroy. And additionally, the only one of them out of all five that never filed bankruptcy was Fauntleroy. And I just think that it just goes to his selfishness. I mean, remember he had two vehicles. He had that little raggedy Lexus, and then he always had, several work trucks. And it just goes to his, and I mean, I know we could go on and on all day about his selfishness, his whatever, but I mean, it's just, something just as simple as the damn luggage rack. You know what I'm saying? It's like all for me and none for you. And, again, I hope him and Robert are happy because I want to keep them off the, off the streets for as long as possible. Because when you play dirty like that, you never win. Was that Nene said that? You never win when you play dirty. I mean, I know it's an old saying, but it's just that they remind me of that. It's you might have a temporary gain, but in the end, Christine is much happier. Mary is smiling more than ever before. Janelle is happy as a lark with her babies and grandbabies. I mean, they all have what they want, even Robert and Fauntleroy. So, I hope that works out for them. But you remember that saying, how you get it is how you lose it.
Right.
So, I hope Robert keeps that in mind when the next best, next young guest model comes along or whatever, Diesel, whatever the hell she modeled for. But I just, she need to keep that in mind. How you get them is how you lose them. So.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep. But oh my God, Thundercoot. I'm gonna be saying it all week. You know this. Thundercoot. Anyway, dear, I'm not gonna keep you, but I hope you and the My Take fam have a blessed, very, very blessed rest of your week. Be looking out on the Facebook page. Mama Betty is doing a benefit or something like kind of for the young man that she knew that passed away in the floods last week. So
okay.
As soon as she either give me the information or just check the My Take Facebook page and I'm sure she'll post it. So just keep that family in your prayers and all that stuff. So,
yeah. That is rough, man. That is rough. That's rough. But thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing.
All right. All righty. Like I said, you guys take care. But Thundercoot, yeah, that's all week. That one ain't going nowhere all week.
All right.
Goodbye, dear.
Have
Have
a
a
great
blessed
night.
one.
Thanks for calling in.
All right. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Yeah, you know, we gotta keep let's put some hearts in the chat for Betty and the peeps. That was a rough flood last week. That was rough. For those who don't know, Betty's in West Virginia, and I don't say the town. I don't feel comfortable with that, but she's in West Virginia, and they experienced flooding, like a lot of water, a lot of water, and people died. And apparently, she knew one of the folks who passed away. So you keep her definitely keep her in our prayers and all that. Yeah, so I don't think she ever really modeled for Diesel jeans. No. She might have modeled them jeans for Kody, you know, when they was up in the boudoir, when he was in that bedroom, supposedly praying and stuff. And that's another thing. Here's something that nobody talk about, just real quick before I go on to next person. Here's something that like nobody seem to be saying either. Kody Brown, Mr. I can't stay in a trailer because it's uncomfortable. Kody Brown, Mr. I don't want to stay in an apartment, a student's apartment, because it's uncomfortable. Even though there's beds available. Kody Brown, Mr. I like nice things. Who here thinks that Kody was going down there? Because as I recall, Kody was going down to Robyn's house and he couldn't afford the money for them to get married. So that's part of the reason why the proposal took so long too, for them to get married took so long, because they needed TLC to pay for it. But who here thinks that Kody was driving down 5 hours in a car, little Lexus, balled up, to go sleep on a couch? Now, as I recall, the house that Robyn was staying in, she had a little 3-bedroom house. It was her room, Dayton's room, and the girls' room. There was no spare bedroom. There was no extra bed. So where was Kody sleeping? Curious. Just curious. Next up, guys, we got Sharon in the house.
Hey, Brother
Hey,
James.
Sharon.
Hey, Brother James, how are you?
Doing well.
He was staying in the Thunder Cooch, and we all know it. Yes, Lord, we all know it. I would be interested to hear what the Dargers have to say about the Browns breaking up.
Yeah.
Specifically, Joe. I really would like to hear what they got to say. I mean, I'm sure they'll think it's sad and everything like that, but you know, I don't doubt Joe would have some things about why it all went down the way it did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole thing just kind of fell apart. So I'd
Yeah.
be willing, the Dargers probably knew more than they were letting on too
Yeah. Oh,
about
yeah.
how the family was going.
Yeah. And heard something the other day and stuff, and it was a breakdown of like how things went with Robyn and when she divorced her husband, when all that came and everything. And it was only like the divorce wasn't final till like 2 months before her and Kody met, or her and
Mm.
Kody come out to get. Let's put it that way. 'Cause let's put that everybody started knowing they were courting. So yeah, I'm like you. She had this lined up. I mean, I believe she's gonna come out with a book here in the next little bit, kind of thing. How to break up a polygamous family and end up with all the money.
Yeah.
uh, and I tell you, I was going to ask you, and if you've done it, I haven't seen it. I would like to see a video of, or a covering of, looking at all the times they've moved.
Mm.
Not like just so much a timeline, but as what was going on. You know, because when they moved to the Lehigh house, the word was him and Janelle was apart right then, and get that house, get us all together, and then that was what made her come back. You know,
Mm.
and I know they say about the investigation. I don't think so much about the polygamy part of it as maybe they were afraid about them investigating maybe their bankruptcies. You know,
Yeah.
there was word that they weren't like, you know, this is a single woman bankruptcy. that kind of thing. But if they were living, all together, then, you know, all the income should have counted together kind of thing. But, they moved to Vegas, but that was, in my mind, had a little more to do with Robyn coming into the family and causing problems. So they wanted to get a new setup. Then we had the catfishing thing with Mary. And so now and it was after that he first mentioned leaving Las Vegas. So it's like every time there's a problem, or every time there's something Kody don't want to deal with, and every time something's coming on that Kody's tired of talking about, we got to move. We got to move. We got to move.
Yeah, I mean, they said that they moved a bunch of times prior to them actually being on the show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that a lot of it does correspond to what he has going on,
Right.
and the fact that he's kind of a rolling stone. And I think that also ties into the fact that he gets tired. Like, he gets tired of maybe not being as successful as he wants, and so he moves.
Yeah.
And if promotions ain't coming in the way you want, we gonna move, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it just seemed like every time that there was something going on within the family. I mean, and I've not read the book, but just hearing excerpts of it from, your show and other shows that I've listened to and stuff. And yes, I'm a Christian and I believe the man should be the head of household, but I'm also a realist, and sometimes that just don't happen.
Right.
Sometimes he just ain't got the wherewithal to do the things that need to be done, and the woman has to just step up.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we're a team here, so if he can't step up, I can, that kind of thing. But yeah, Kody don't need to be Kody don't need to be the head of nobody's family. I'm just saying, not nobody's.
Well, I think that there's a
husband and wife
portion
or
of
nothing.
that though, where you have to acknowledge, like, if you are taking a leadership position, right?
Right.
As part of you taking a leadership position, you put people where their strengths are. If I have somebody who, like, if I was doing a football team and I'm the coach or I'm the leader of the team, if I know I have a guy who's faster than me, that guy's playing certain positions that
Yeah.
require speed. If I have somebody who's stronger than me, that guy's doing the stuff that, requires strength. If I have somebody
Yeah.
who is smarter or sees the field better than me, more of a strategist, that guy's gonna be my quarterback.
Exactly.
It's just understanding the positions that everybody can play. And sometimes it's not just about giving orders. Like, that's not what leadership is.
No,
Leadership is
exactly.
being able to recognize and cultivate people's qualities to be able to get the desired outcomes that you want.
Recognizing the talents within your team and putting them
Right.
where they need to be.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you got, like, if Janelle loved doing numbers, and let's be honest, you don't, put her in charge of the books. Damn right.
Exactly.
Janelle, go ahead, little books. I don't like no little quick notes or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. Well, it's just I don't know. I just don't think that he's just, in my mind, he's not the one. But I guess Robyn thinks he is. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then and I'll say this and I'll let you go. I think all these women are winners. I think Janelle's winning because she's getting what she wants. She's with her kids, or she's with Maddie and her grandkids, and getting to do the things that she wants to do. I think Mary's winning. She's working her business. She's doing the things that she's doing, the traveling, like you said, kind of thing. I think Christine's found the love that she wanted and all that stuff. I even think Robyn's winning. She just ended up with the booby prize.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, like I said, be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it.
Oh yeah. And I'm like you, kind of thing, stuff. We said it before. I don't think they're gonna last, kind of thing. It'll just play out how it plays out. We may not ever know it, other than just a headline of the details of it, but it's gonna play out eventually.
Yeah. I mean, it's what's the old saying? Everything that's done in the dark eventually comes to the light. So.
Oh yeah, and when you bring it to the light, it's like I said last week. When you bring it to the light, you can't go nowhere else with it.
Right.
There ain't no darkness it can hide in. It's all out in the light.
Right.
And I say, I thought that was gonna be my last thing, but it made me think when you said that. her not crying at with anything to do with Garrison really, really, really disturbed me about her. I mean, I had bad feelings about her for a long time, kind of thing and stuff, probably from way, way back. But if you can't cry about even your spouse or even somebody that close to you losing a child, Mars, you got something going on in there that I don't think I want to be a part of.
Yeah, you're in a dark place.
That
Because even
that's some funky stuff right there now.
yeah. Because not only is it a child that you knew him when he was a child, you knew him when he was a baby, and even beyond that, you have kids of your own, and
Yeah.
even if you didn't really care for him or you didn't really know him, with having children of your own that how difficult it would be. It
Oh yeah.
doesn't take a whole lot of imagination for you to figure out, like, if I was in that situation and something were to happen to one of my kids, how would I feel?
Yeah.
And you don't have like, and I don't even, I've seen more people, uh, like more fans, more YouTubers have more reaction to losing Garrison than her.
Yeah.
And none of us knew him. You know what I mean? Which is
Well, and
like, it's weird.
especially, I mean, like I say, having lost one myself, I know how that feels. So, it makes you tender for it more, kind of thing. I'll even go to people that I just know through an acquaintance, because
Mm.
just to have somebody there that feels what you feel, what you're feeling, or has felt what you're feeling, can make a world of difference to somebody, or I hope that it will.
Right.
you know. But for her to cry all the way through these seasons, even, the wind blows and she cries, the rain falls and she cries, the rain stops and she cries, and then not cry over this youngin', honey, girlfriend better get right now. She better get right quick.
Right.
That ain't gonna end well for you, honey. I promise you ain't. No matter if you have problems with him or not, that's somebody's child. That's supposed to be the man you love's child.
Right.
See, there's something wrong there, James. I mean, psychologically wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll
She'd
let you
definitely be
go
off
and
the
get you.
babysitting list.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I will let you go and let you get to your other callers. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you. Have a great night.
Bye bye.
Bye. All right. Next up, we have Jenny Jet. What's going on, Jenny? Oh wait. Hey, what's going on, Jenny? How you doing?
Hi, hello.
Yes.
I didn't want to mention Robin and Garrison, but I wanted to like I had another plan, but going off with the last conversation with Robin not crying for Garrison, yeah, it's sad, and it just I think about, right, how she was saying that she cried in every season for any other reason, but an actual tragedy that happened in the family, since she used her tears to manipulate what she wanted, and this nobody saw this coming.
Mm.
So yeah, so when Kody is sitting and by the fire, and then here comes Robin, and she's soothing or whatever, right, according to Kody. And then when he mentions that he wanted more time, and she said, I know, and he admits, I think the COVID rules, and these were the only time I did sympathize with Kody, that the rules were just stupid to him. And they were holding hands and by the fire, and then she said, good. And I know she's supporting him, Robin, right, to Cody.
Mm-hmm.
It's good that you think that, but it once I heard that, it bothered me so much, because you guys were in cahoots with these COVID rules. And for him to, hey, you know what, I needed time, and now reflecting back, she's not taking responsibility. She's not saying, you know what, I know, right, that was stupid. What the fuck, what were we thinking?
Right.
And it's just like, good, like, yeah, I'm being supportive. And for her to nonchalant say good, for him to admit that, but she's still not showing herself, like, I know it sucks, like, we dropped the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it's sad. It's a sad situation. It's just a sad situation all the way around.
Yeah, so yeah. So, but I called just to end with that, since I was thinking, I'm like, I don't want to make it too deep, you know. But so Cody had mentioned this before, and I think it was the second episode for the tell-alls. In the manosphere mentality of, it's their fault if I fall in love with the woman. What as a man yourself, like, what is your take on that for for Cody saying that, as if I fall in love with you, that's your fault, not mine. Like, as a man yourself that has fallen in love, like, what's your take on that statement or mentality?
Well, I think that it spans from two different places. That first place, when the manosphere tends to talk about like falling in love, they see that as a bad thing. They see that as a weakness. So I don't think that they get the same level of credibility when it comes to like discussing matters of the heart, because when they talk about it, it's all about seek and destroy, conquer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, it's don't get in your emotions. That's not in our DNA, kind of thing.
Right, right. But I think that if you're everybody's responsible for their own feelings, but I think that what Cody was avoiding accountability for was, if Mary liked Cody, Cody didn't like Mary, then that's more Mary's responsibility,
Hmm.
right? But if Cody is out encouraging Mary and constantly coming at Mary, making Mary feel like she's welcome or she's invited, or there's a possibility or a chance, then that's your fault, Cody.
Hmm.
It stops being her fault the minute you start encouraging her. If you go to her and she says, Cody, I like you, just like if a guy goes to a young lady and says, girl, I like you, and she says, I'm not interested, or I just see you as a friend, I want to be your buddy, I don't want to be your girlfriend. If he continues to pursue her at that point, or she continues to pursue him at that point, that's on them, right? That's on the pursuer. But if you hold it out like you got a chance, if I can't date you right now, but if you come by next week and you take me to Ruth Chris, or you take me to the Four Seasons or the Palm, then I never did that before, I might fall in love. Then that's totally different. I mean, because you're making them feel like they actually have a chance that things could turn around. And I think that that's what Cody was doing to Mary. He was making her feel like, she could, this is something that she really wanted. So she kind of turned a blind eye to a lot of clear, red flags, obviously. But it's something she really wanted. He recognized it was something that she wanted, and he took advantage of the fact that that's what she wanted. So,
Yeah, and with Mary, it's just like, girl, you just took too long to see it, or she saw it and just, that's a whole other thing. But from when I'm going out with that mentality of people just genuinely being themselves, and then for him to make the claim of, like, I fell in love with her, just overall experience. If you have the mentality of, it's not my fault that I fell in love with them, it's not the other person's responsibility either. Like, I could see where Robyn, she knew where to put herself, and for Cody to favor her. And now that they're all gone,
mm,
like, how he stated, so it's my fault if I fall out of love with them. So if Robyn doesn't have to do that, like, work harder, because she already has him, and she's not living up to what she used to do, and then Cody falls out of love, is he taking that responsibility? He's still blaming.
right, right.
In my opinion, yeah. Does that make sense? Like, so, and I see that happening with Robyn. She won already. Like, what else can she do? The money's gonna run out. Like that, I need to move on.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I fell in love with you, and that's your fault.
Yeah, right. Good luck with that. Oh, Cody. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
But thank you for calling in. Appreciate you.
Okay, James. Nice talking to you.
All right, you too.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye. All right, and we have Janet. Hey Janet, what's going on? Hello, Janet.
Hi, James. Can you hear me?
Yes.
How's it going?
Going well, going well. How's everything?
Good. I was just listening to like everything you guys were talking about and everything that like the other callers were saying were like spot on. You're hilarious as always. Um,
Oh, thank you.
I was You're welcome. I was thinking about like a couple things just because now that like all of the season 19's over and stuff. Like I was thinking of a couple moments that stuck out to me that made me kind of sad and not anything about Garrison, but like Cody always seems to have an excuse for things he does that are hurtful to like the family as long as it's not Robin. Um and a lot of times he has a reason, like when he's asked about it he's like doesn't always have a like, obviously he doesn't usually have a good reason, but there's like two instances that were standing out to me, not from this season, but
Mm,
one was when I think that was when they were moving to Flagstaff and he was taking the wives on like separate trips to go visit it first. And I think that some people have said that like the decision was already made. Him and Robin probably had already gone there to move to Flagstaff before the other ones had even agreed, and like a decision was already like in the works. But like when he was talking to Christine and he's like, we're gonna go on a birthday trip to Flagstaff, and he's like, If you come to Flagstaff, like it'll be like your special birthday every single day." And that is just like watching that back later, it is like so fucked up, so messed up, because I think this is during a point where he was basically like, I'm not attracted to you, I never have been, whatever, like, but you guys were talking about like just him and like the manipulative things he does like with Mary and stuff, and which was also very sad. But like the fact that he said that to her, like promising something that he knew wouldn't is not really how he feels, just to get what he wants, is like, I don't know. What do you think about that? I just think that is so messed up, and it just
mm.
gave me the ick and ugh, made me feel disgusting to watch it.
Well, because I think that there was a point where, especially when you talk about like them moving to Flagstaff,
Hmm.
even on the show, they acknowledged that not only did Robyn, Cody, and the kids go to Flagstaff to visit and scope it out, which means that you guys pretty much already picked a place. And so you were just telling the wives, this is where we're moving. It wasn't a question of, hey guys, I want to get out of here because we want to move away from Vegas because it's too fast and too much craziness is going on. And we want to protect the kids. Where should we go? You said you came up with the excuse of where you wanted to go after you decided the location of where you wanted to be.
Right.
Then what he did with Mary was he wasn't sure that Mary, because Mary was sitting on that house money. So I
Yeah.
think that that's the reason why if Cody could, if Mary, let's say Mary had a huge debt on that house, the house in Vegas. If
Hmm.
she would have had a gigantic debt on that house in Vegas, then Cody would have left her ass in Vegas. But because she had equity in that home in Vegas, Cody was nice to her and encouraged her to move with him to Vegas or to
Yeah.
Arizona. Like I think that's kind of how it went.
I think so too. And it's really like there's really no excuse for that. Like a lot of excuses that he seems to give are, they're mad at me because I loved Robin and like I couldn't help that I fell in love hard and like all these other things. And it's like, but let's talk about the things that are in your control that you did and were wrong. And there's really no way you can spin it to make it not wrong. That would be an example. Like of the
Mm,
like there's so many things he did wrong, like not just these things I'm talking about now, obviously, but like just what stands out to me is like when he has no answer, there is no way, there's no answer that would excuse doing that, because like to promise somebody who like wants nothing more than your affection. Well, if we move here and you agree to this, then every day is going to be like your birthday. Like that's diabolical. Like that is, you very much know
yeah.
that you are not going to make that like her birthday. And it's just, it just it's gross me. I'm not sure what happened to Cody. I'm not sure that like he seemed to get worse and worse over the years. I always thought he was a prick because just from that first time I ever saw it on TV where he was saying it would be disgusting if Mary like had husbands, and like I was like, oh, this guy seems like a kind of a sexist piece of trash, but whatever. Like just he seems to get progressively worse to the
Right.
point where like the most recent Christmas episode I can think of, I think there's been one since, but like when he's mad at Gabe and Garrison and Janelle because like the COVID rules or whatever, not being compliant with the COVID rules has basically stopped him from being able to see Janelle, I guess, et cetera, blah, 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 whatever. But like Janelle like doesn't even ask him about getting gifts or like calling Gabe and Garrison because she already seems to acknowledge this is like it's like hitting my head against a brick wall. Like he's just gonna think they're wrong and he's right. But when she brings up Savannah and that like
Mm,
he didn't call her, he didn't give her a gift. I think that was the same Christmas getting like the other kids like like scooters, whether they were expensive or not. I think he says later like they're not even that expensive. And it's like right, but like it's like a bike. Even if it was just a like a bike that wasn't motorized, like that's a lot more money than nothing, and it's not about money anyway. But like Savannah like stood up for him when other people were trashing him, which maybe he didn't know, but like she was like it's wrong to lie to dad and et cetera, and she didn't have any direct like issue with him over his COVID rules even et cetera as that we know of. And he did not call her, he did not get her a gift, he didn't do anything for her in any way to acknowledge her. And we know that he is not above acknowledging like teenage children because he's taking Aurora to like get her ears pierced when she's in her 20s, or like so much attention given to like Aurora and Brianna and nothing giving to Savannah. Like it just really stands out to me how does somebody do that? I'm not a parent, but
mm,
like Savannah didn't do anything to you. Even if she had, it's totally wrong how he treated Gabe and Garrison, obviously. But like, even if we're just going by like people who are in a fight with you, she's not in a fight with you, and
right.
you you didn't even seem to think of her. She's your child. Like there's episodes early on with she's on your lap, like she's your like little buddy, like that's your daughter. Like it's like are you insane? Like it just it makes me like so sad, but not so much for her because I think she sees like how he is and accepts. She seems like in a very accepting person, like you can't control other people, but like how does somebody do that? Like that is not a good person. I'm sorry, it isn't. Like
Mm.
it's just I don't get it. I don't get how he couldn't even like acknowledge her at all. I don't know.
Well, because I think ultimately what it comes down to is that we have to acknowledge the fact that life isn't fair, and
Yeah.
even though
Mhm.
Cody spends time, care, and attention on building kids that aren't necessarily his, or kids he has with Robyn or associated with Robyn, but he doesn't invest in other kids. That's not a reflection of the other kids. That's just merely a reflection on him. And I think
Yeah.
that's how we just have to look at it. It's not, it does, like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much or how little Savannah actually did.
No. Mhm.
It's something that was in him, and
Mhm.
and that's actually kind of it's a cold lesson to learn this early, and especially from this source. But it's a
Yeah.
valuable lesson.
It
You
is.
know,
It is. I agree with you. It's like those kids are quite mature. Like I find the ones that, like, no disrespect to Robin's children, but like basically the everybody but Robin's children seem to have like a maturity about them and accepting that like sometimes if you learn that lesson, early, that I don't know. There's some peace to that, I guess, in realizing that
Mhm.
she can't control what her dad does. But I won't take up too much more of your time. I just had one other quick question for you, though.
Sure.
I don't know, like, now that Sister Wives is over, and normally I know there's like a Sunday, like call-in show and stuff like that. Would you like consider like doing any kind of like look back or like on old episodes or anything? Or like do you have any I know that some of your plans probably aren't like decided yet or anything, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on like some of the older episodes. I know we're not allowed to watch it on YouTube, obviously, because copyright, blah blah blah. But like I would love to hear your opinion on like just like episodes, like now that like the season's over and stuff. But I don't know if it'd be something you consider or not.
Yeah, I might. Depend on what's going on or what
Mhm.
issues pop up. I think the way I might do it moving forward is I might even do like put together information or snippets of information or things that come up or develop regarding the show, and then maybe even run that as like a premiere or something right before the live, and then that
Yeah,
way
that
we can
sounds
talk about
awesome.
it from that perspective.
That
But
sounds great.
yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to actually go back and because it's a little like they really frustrated the shit out of it. I'm not gonna lie.
Me too. Me too.
They frustrated me this season because they really mailed this one in. Like they mailed
Yeah.
this in. Like this one,
Yeah.
like I know, like and I don't want to go against any of the my other contemporaries because some people did find this season kind of interesting. I think there are interesting nuances
Mhm.
and parts where they might have added more color to issues or situations that were going on. But let's be honest and let's be frank. We didn't learn any new things
No.
this season. It was a recap of a recap, which is a storyline, which is about 4 years, 5 years old now. Like the whole
Yeah.
Cody Pass thing is about, like they've already sold the property at this point. Like Cody Pass is so done. It's so over.
Yeah.
And the only thing that really happened this season that was new and different was unfortunately the circumstances surrounding Big G's.
Yeah.
Like, other than that, everything we talked about were things that we had already talked about to death
Oh yeah,
in
like oh
previous
my god, give
seasons.
me nothing, right?
Yeah,
Like really old rehash stuff. No, I appreciate that. Sounds great. Like your idea sounds awesome and I love listening to you. Thanks again so much for doing the call in. Love you. You have a great week and I'll
thanks.
talk to you soon.
All right, you have a great week as well. Thank you for
Thank
calling in.
you.
Great points. Awesome. Next up, we got Ty up in the house. What's up, Ty? How you doing?
Hey, oh my God, that came real quick. Okay, hey, how you doing?
Doing excellent. Excellent.
So I have a, 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 a thought over the
Okay.
week because we've gotten to a point to where we know the show. We're pretty much wrapping this up. It's over. We're done, and we know that some of the family members may not have a fallback option.
Mm.
But I've also noticed that every time that viewership in the series or in the show kind of dips, they kind of have a highlight. Something happens. Like we kind of had a dip and then we heard about Mary's divorce. And then everyone kind of ran back to the show, like, what's going on? And then we only to find out that, it was a, consensual divorce for Cody to marry Robyn. Then we kind of dreaded off, and then the catfish happened. So everyone
Mm.
kind of came back, and then we stayed for a while. Then it kind of faded away, and then we hear Christine left Kody. And then everybody came rushing back. And I think this is when they've had the most viewership of all times because now everyone is really, they have new viewers and everyone wants to know, like, why is she leaving? And we've been holding on for a while. We've been on the hook for a while now. I'm kind of
Mm.
ready to get off this hook. So what do you think their next grift is going to be? Like, what's the next big thing that's going to happen to be like, oh my God, we got to go back because he's not going to let this go because he has nothing else.
Right. Well, because I think that here's my twist on it. I think that part of Cody's frustration with this whole thing, part of the reason why he's so angry, isn't just because Christine left. He's mad because Christine left and she took the show with her.
Yes.
So when he said,
Yes.
"Oh, you took the kids with you," no, it's not the kids because you could call the kids anytime you want. These are adults with their
Mhm.
own phones. They got their own house. It's not like they live in a house with the OG3 anymore. Like the
Right.
only kid that lives at home is Truly. you know.
Exactly.
And then I think Savannah might have moved down to North Carolina, but she's in college. Like if she can go to college, she's definitely got a cell phone and you could call her anytime you want. So
Mhm.
it's not the kids. I think it's the show. And when he looks at the frustration of like even with Robyn sitting there saying, I can't look at these clips because it makes me so upset. They were filming the whole time, the same way Christine was filming, Mary and Janelle. Robyn and Kody were also filming during that time. And they have a bunch. I bet you if you go to TLC, they have a bunch of B-roll and unreleased footage
Right.
of them doing whatever wacky storyline that they were trying to put together.
Right.
And TLC refused to air that shit.
So they
And
got to
that
do.
lets you know right there where you are. Because if TLC was sitting on gold, like if you guys were there and Robyn and Kody were mining gold, oh, they would have put that on the air. Oh, baby, they'd have a spinoff right now. Like if they were doing something, it was like, this is incredible television. You know what I mean? TLC's produced like, this is incredible television. They would already had a spinoff. But the fact that they wouldn't even air it during a regular Sister Wives show, they have nothing.
That's
I think that's
crazy.
part of their frustration because they put all this time, energy, and effort into filming all this stuff, gave them all this access. And always keep in mind with reality shows inside baseball, if you are a cast member on a reality show, you don't get paid for filming.
Okay.
You only get paid for episodes that you appear in during the
I
course
got
of
you.
the season. Then you get a bonus for your tell-all appearance. That's separate money.
Oh.
Right. So because you don't get like so in other words, if you come to my house and you disrupt my household for 6 months, you show up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you don't leave till 8 o'clock at night. I don't get nickel one for that. And you do that shit for 6 months and you only put me on 3 episodes, I only get paid for the 3 episodes. And I think that's why Kody and them are so angry.
So
That's
do
why
you
they're
think
so
that?
mad.
So do you think that's why they give us like little niblets, like I just can't talk about it, or it's just like they give us little niblets to keep us intrigued. Like
Right.
he's really grasping for, he's gonna be online talking about release the Kody, the Kody sphere, release the like what they did with Zack Snyder, release the Kody, whatever, but yeah, we don't care about their love story, and I don't think they have any more storyline left in them. And I don't know if you watched Mary's interview with speaking lesbian. I think that's her YouTube name or TikTok name.
Yeah,
Mary.
I didn't see the interview, but I know which one you're talking about.
Okay, but Mary mentioned, because that did kind of come up about, well, she's getting paid to do this, and Mary was like, well, I don't know. And she I was like, well, girl, tell what? Does she get paid or not? Because I'm curious, like, if they're getting paid to do this, I need more on my screen, or else I'm going to cancel my subscription, Discovery.
Yeah, it's that's what I'm saying. Like, it gets rough. And even a grittier part is, like, they have the talk back and look back. They have the old episodes that like all the YouTubers are going to start flocking back and doing. They don't get paid for that either.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you only get paid for the stuff that you do. Like, so
people are making money on their content. People are going to make money on their content, and they just have to sit back and watch and get railroaded for the rest of their lives. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, and no lie, like I'm not envious at all of like reality stars, because it's a hard gig. Like, it's a hard gig.
Okay.
And if I'm gonna keep it all the way in stack, I'm gonna keep it all the way in stack like I'd like to do. When push them down to shove, Kody and Robyn, like you said, the only storyline that they're trying to push out right now is the love story. And the problem they have is that they're not understanding what made them popular in the first place. You guys were, at the time the show was released, you guys were an anomaly. You're a plural family that really didn't have any real competition at that time. Now there's plural families, alternative lifestyles everywhere.
Yes.
And not only that, you guys are no longer part of that group. And now you're monogamous. And let's be honest, on TLC alone, how many shows do you have on TLC where you have single people looking to get hooked up? You have married folks, and in every other case, not a lot of those people, clear majority of those people are not middle-aged. These are very
True.
young people, in some cases, very attractive people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's their competition. And these are also people, and I'm gonna be honest, maybe it's gonna sound a little like I'm a little prudish, if you will. But sometimes they film a little too damn much with some of these couples when they start hooking up. They
Mm-hmm.
leave the camera going too long. Like, well, I don't need to see this. You know,
Yes.
it's a
Ooh.
little but that's the vein that TLC is on. And you guys are talking about you don't want to talk about sex or money. Like that's 90% of TLC shows, son.
Now, since
So,
now, yeah, since
yeah, I don't know where you fit in. Like, this is the problem that I think that they have.
yes.
I don't know where you guys fit in. Like, because if Sister Wives started today, like, let's be honest, if season 19 was the first season and it just aired this year, Sister Wives would have had 6 damn episodes and they'd be sitting right next to Poly Family.
Exactly.
You know?
And they lack personality. I'm gonna have to say every TLC character, the one thing you can say is they have it's a character flaw or some type of personality, something in them that makes us kind of go back and look like what happened over there. But the Sister Wives really aren't giving it because they're so tight-lipped. It was cute at first. Now y'all need to start divulging. Tell us the real. Put it out there. Spill the tea because we leaving. We head down.
It's put out a get out because at the end of the day, and that's a vulgar thing, but that's what it is. Because at the end of the day, if you guys don't want to tell us what's going on, there's 5 other couples that will.
And they'll let us in the bedroom too. So
right. And they'll show us too damn much. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And they'll show us more information. I get way more information than I need from some of these people.
Yes. I didn't even know this. But thank you, James. I really appreciate it. I also sent you an email. I don't know if you received it, but it should be in your email by Take on Reality Questions, I believe. Just some information for you, just FYI.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you
no
so
problem.
much.
You have a good one.
You too. Thanks for calling in.
No problem. Bye.
Bye. That was fun. Yeah, I tell you what. I mean, I think Ty's on to something. You know, no lie. You know, to ask no questions, I tell you no lies, Jack. And if you look at it, like they got MILF Manor on TLC. That's the middle-aged show where they got the older women trying to date young ass dudes that could be their son's age and all that kind of stuff. They got a lot of incestuous stuff going on. It's crazy. TLC is crazy now. Like, so I don't know how the Brown family is going to hold up, especially like Cody and Robin. Like, there's plenty of shows with monogamous as the leads, and I don't know if you guys are actually going to shake the Richter on that. Like, so, you know, good luck at Arby's, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. Next up, we got Linda. Linda, what's going on?
Hey, James, how you doing? Happy Sunday from Rockaway Beach, Queens.
Okay, Queens, what's going on?
Well, what's going on is I'm trying to get out of the Sister Wives because I feel like I'm contributing to that dirty money. So I'll watch the tell-alls like on YouTube or whatever. I have to disagree with a little bit of what you're saying. I think if we listen closely, we're learning more about them, Cody and Robyn and Mary, all of them, all the OGs. We're you know, like I watch them and I hear them talk. They're letting things out that they should have let out years ago. So they're trying to let us down easy. Like, yeah, you know what? We came in with problems. We fooled you all because from the very beginning, when they were moving from Lehigh, they didn't have to. All they were facing was a $750 fine. We all know that. But I think you're right, and that they're trying to do this redemption arc where Cody is taking back what he said, where he's sorry. But if I was Suki or any, you know, if it was me, the one that I would nail his ass to the wall is this. The fact that you loved Robyn so much did not mean that you had to exclude your children. So because you didn't love their mother, you didn't love your children. You know, you were not there for any of them. And it cost you your son's life. And he dug in deeper and deeper. Because I'm going to tell you, in my heart of hearts, when I saw that episode with Garrison, like if I could put my hand through the phone, through the TV, there would be like 3 bodies there. Because it was like, to me, he was making fun of it like I won. I did not believe not one tear, my boy. You wanted to bury him because you wanted to win. That was not a father, because Cody is not a father. So we have a saying in Spanish, Because, I remember from last time I told you I'm Puerto Rican, and sometimes I try to translate these sayings. So one of them is like, the fact that you gave birth doesn't make you a mother. And some women are women before their mothers. He's a father. He's a mother before being a father. He got hit so hard sexually that it just blinded him. And he really probably is like a sex addict or a control freak or a narcissist, which is why he went into polygamy. But the fact that they're showing who he was and his life and with like the new family, you're not going to sell that to me. And that he dug the grave, I am telling you, James, in my heart of hearts, I felt like it was like the ultimate FU to his son. I honestly do not think he gives a rat's ass that he buried his child. He just doesn't. Anyone with half a heart would have been decimated. They would have stopped. They would have, try to reconnect with the children in such a time. And he didn't. And the fact that his pregnant daughter had to ask him why you don't like me anymore. And you say that on national television, like you given a recipe for a tuna salad sandwich.
Right.
No. And I think why we want to see I want to see the RICO charges. I want to see where they found out Robyn did something wrong in one of those jobs and she's being arrested for involuntary manslaughter, or this dude is a serial killer, because these people are not normal. These two are not normal. I don't care what anybody says. They are two peas in a pod. They will kill each other before they leave each other. I'm going to tell you that right now. Kody is itching for another woman because it's not enough. And the burden is too much for Rob. You can look at her face and she's like, if I have to have sex with this man one more time, I'm going to scream.
He keeps coming home. Well, you know what? I'll give you this. I'll give you some pushback on your pushback. I think.
Go ahead, honey. Go ahead.
I think that the thing that we're seeing that they're finally admitting is stuff that we already knew. And I think that's why I say that there's really nothing new that was revealed, just from the respect of, like, I'd already suspected that, when Kody admitted that he knew Robyn before the dance and they had like a whole little intimate moment, I figured that already. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The fact that he said he felt about the way he felt about the mothers, and he didn't really care. He didn't love them, but he fell in love, like deep love with Robyn. We all knew that already. The fact that Robyn was the only one that he loved, we all knew that. Everybody was saying that season 1, episode 1. Like, that's the one. Robyn the one. Mary, why would you? Because even most of the people who, when they were listening to the original story, they're all like, Mary, why the hell would you bring this woman into your family? Why would you do this to yourself?
Yeah, but it turns out she didn't. I think Mary was covering for him. And this is what I mean. These wives are responsible because they perpetrated a fraud. Like we say in my hood, you perpetrated a fraud, you lied, and at the expense of your children, because they are just as culpable as he is. I'm not letting the OG3 off the hook. They are just as culpable. Now, I don't know if they had to stay there because they were one step away from welfare again, or Kody had them, because I think he's a big bully. And I think he had this big influence on them until they grew a backbone. The one that really irks me the most is Janelle, because from episode 1, I always felt like she thought she was better than anybody. She was educated. She was so smart. And that was the one that ended up in a damn trailer. Like, I think they just got caught up in their lives and got caught up in how Kody saw them. I don't understand, as an independent woman, why you would want to live like that. For that, you take a lover. Take a lover. Sharon, your man. Let me stop before I get vulgar. I'm going to keep it PG.
Right. No, I get you. I think that's part of it, though. I think that the one thing that we can say that was maybe new was that they're finally admitting that they were never happy. But I think a lot of people had already suspected that. You understand what I mean? So I think that that's part of the issue that I have, is that we're not, when I say I want to see something new, I want to see where they are now. Like, there's so much time that's being spent looking over the shoulder. And this is part of the reason why I'm so resistant in doing like the like going back and reviewing older episodes, because a lot of these episodes were 15 years ago. Yeah. And I'm a damn different person. 15 years ago, James is different than 15-year-old me now. Yeah,
for real. I was different too. And I was a little slow on the draw. I didn't wake up I think it was the wedding dress episode, and then I gave him another chance, and I watched it again, I don't know, 12 or 13, when he refused to go to the surgery.
Mhm.
I'm like, dude, I don't care if there was the bubonic plague. He already had set the seed that, no, I'm against having surgery. It's dangerous, so I'm not going to be a party to it.
Right.
Bullshit. You just didn't care. Do you know how painful scoliosis is with that curvature she had on her spine? Any
Right.
idiot with a 3rd grade reading level could look it up in the library, look it up in the internet, and know this child was in agony. In
Mhm.
agony. And because you didn't want to leave your hoe, let me be real here. You don't want to leave your hoe because you want to show her that she's number one. You let your child go alone. The fact that he said she could go by herself, I almost fell off the chair.
Right.
And that you let your wife go alone, and then all your girls. Like, he's not a father. He's a man. He's a piece of garbage. But I just don't understand. Like, he's lucky that I'm not a host, because those questions for all of them would be hard hitting. Because
Yeah.
the more they resist Robyn, the more he digs in deeper. He doesn't stop to say, you know what? I'm alienating my kids. I don't think he knows how to deal with teenage and adults. He likes the little ones because he thinks he control them. But, don't sleep on Robyn. I started watching a little of the old episodes. Robyn came out hot. And that's
Yeah.
also what turns on his pecker. She would go right back at him. We don't speak like that. You can't tell her that. He would go ahead and do it a little less louder, but she would always stick up for herself. And that's what he liked.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, I think that that's also part of it too, because I've also said that, like, Robyn is playing the shy wife now, but there was a time when Robyn was very mouthy, and
Yep.
she came off like the authority, especially when it came to plural marriage. She came off like she understood what it was about. When you, like, I don't know how you gonna sit next to, like, you just got in a plural marriage. You've been married for maybe 6 months. At this time, you sitting there talking about maybe a year by the time they did the 2nd season. You're sitting there, you've been married 6 months to a year talking about what it's like to be a sister wife while you're sitting next to 20-year vets.
Yep.
Like, these women got 20 years in the game, and you sitting there talking about what it's like to be them. Like, you need to sit back and just let them take the questions. But
Yeah.
that's not what she did.
No,
And I think that
and I'm sorry to talk over you, and then she was only a sister wife for 1 season when she took care of the kids. Because
Right.
once she gave birth, how do you not call any of your sister wives, postpartum, come stay with me, I need your help? You got your nieces to babysit. Then you got an outsider to babysit. Then the word safe, oh, the little ones can't be there because they're rough. And he let it go. Like, he I don't know what it was, but he just let her run rampant. You're not going to tell me you didn't see this woman fracturing your family. There's just no way.
Well, I mean, I think that comes down to part of the reason why he let her talk back too, though, because at the end of the day, she's the one he liked. She's the one he wanted to be with. So yeah, she got to be more mouthy. She got to be more lippy. She got to respond and say shit that she wanted to say get off her chest and shoot both barrels. Whereas if she could sit there, yell at Kody, cuss his ass out, and he would, okay, Robyn, I need to consider that. If Christine would have said, Kody, I think I have a question about some of the stuff you told me. Who you think you talking to? You don't be yelling at me like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just different responses for different people. And
Yeah.
I think the one point that you made that I'll stand on too is the fact that just because you don't get along with your kid's mom, for me, if me and my wife weren't together and we didn't like each other, I could care less about our relationship. If somebody told me, my next person said, yeah, James, I don't really feel comfortable with you talking to her kids, stop right there.
Yep.
They're my kids. Okay. They're my kids. I'm going to talk to my kids. One, and the fact that you brought that to my attention, I appreciate that, because you let me know what you about. Now you can see your ass out the door.
Yeah.
Because there's no way in the world I'm going to keep dealing with somebody who's not encouraging that relationship, because I would have a problem with that.
Absolutely.
That would be my first big, not only red flag, that'd be the hit the trap door button.
Yeah.
Escape button. I'm out of here.
Yeah. And TLC, you're right. When TLC first started years ago, it was the learning channel. You learned about cultures and surgeries and all kinds of things. Now it's just so nasty. That whole network needs to be done. And I'm no prude, but let me tell you, I'm with you on that. That whole TLC, it needs to be erased off the viewing guide. And I want Sister
Yeah.
Wives canceled. If they haven't stepped in their own, oh well, too bad. I'm not funding your lifestyle because you started all this bullshit with a lie. That's
Right.
it.
Right. Fair play. Fair
That's
play.
my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I heard that. I heard that.
All right. Well, thank you, and y'all have a good night.
All right, you too. Thank you so much for calling in.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Yeah, guys. Look, I agree with what Linda was saying. Like, you know what? When push comes down to shove, like some of my criticism, I even got some stuff talking about. I got videos coming out about TLC, talking about straight up with TLC, some of the choices they made as far as cast that they brought on the show, people who are inappropriate that they brought on the show, some of the messaging that they're putting out. You know, I don't mind like the alternative lifestyle stuff. I think that a lot of that stuff is interesting. I like learning about different people, different lifestyles, the way people live their lives, decisions that they make. I like to see that those differences, compare, contrast, what works, what doesn't. But I think that with a lot of the stuff that TLC is putting out now, it's more along the line of just we're going to be super nasty about stuff. We're going to be super adult. We're going to be vulgar, if you will. And like Linda was saying, I'm not a prude either, not even by a long shot. But I think that there's some things, it's just misrepresentation. Like I have a video coming out talking about the Hunt for Love, 90 Day Fiancé, Hunt for Love. And young man hits on a girl and leads her on, and then he's surprised because she's a cup of crazy. You know, but you got to have some discipline in yourself. If you don't go run them streets, you run them streets. But you got to understand that you just can't run and chase after everybody because not everybody is put together the way you think. And not everybody is okay with just fun time stuff. You know, fun on the run. Like you can't just hit. Some people you can't hit and leave. You know, some people, you know, not to be too nasty with it, pardon my French, but some people, you know, you fuck with me, you stuck with me. Like, that's it. Like, you with them, you take them home, that's your lady. There's no, come on, girl, you know I was just saying that because I wanted to get in your pants. Like, nope. You mess with me, you stuck with me. That's it. We are together now. You know, some of them are Fruit Loops, but you got, when you're playing that kind of game, that's what you're dealing with. But I'll be talking about a lot of that stuff. I want to thank you. Let me go through, thank you all to all the callers. As promised, I'm going to try to hold it to 2 hours. But let me go through the super chats. We had Darlene Hall join the membership. Thank you so much, Darlene. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the Armada. The My Take on Reality, the MTR Armada. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And get a little something, something. Then we had Unlimited Lipstick Janet, the $6.99 super chat. LOL shopping with the iPad. I can't watch this. That's how we feel when Kody pretends to lick your picture, Robyn. Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, right. Oh, I can't watch this. Oh. When Simon was throwing the Robyn during the look backs, when she was supposed to be looking at the old episodes and she threw them down. I can't look at this. That's like she said when Kody was like, oh, when I see them old pictures, I can't look at this. My eyes. Thank you so much, Janet. Appreciate you. Let me give you a little something, something. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining the show. Hopefully, you guys had a great time. We'll be back next week, 7 p.m. And then this Thursday, I will be doing the Speak Pipe. So make sure you tune in for that. And make sure you keep an eye out for the videos that I will be releasing this week. I have some 90-day stuff, some sister wife stuff, Monday morning motivations. It's going to be all the way live. Appreciate you guys. But big shout out to Carmel Cutie and Lizzie B, as well as Brittany Not Brittany. I appreciate you guys for holding things down. Thank you for the people in the chat. Appreciate you. Those Brittany Not Brittany, Lizzie B, and Carmel Cuties, all the mega mods, in case y'all didn't know. And I got this thing I'm doing for my studio. I'll be changing my studio around a little bit. Doing a little woodworking project, y'all. Very excited about it. Can't wait for you guys to see it. Yeah, it's been sucking up a lot of my time trying to plan it, but yeah, I'm coming for you, Aspen's husband. Who's the better craftsman? Well, clearly he is. Like, I think he's better. He probably is better than me, but we shall see. Because I do my thing. Like, I respect what he do, but I ain't no slouch either. So y'all gonna see some of my stuff pretty soon. So I'm excited about it. But yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. If you have anything that you want to say, you want to leave a message on SpeakPipe, it's speakpipe.com/mytakeonreality right down here. You can leave a 1.5-minute message, and we'll be doing that on Thursday. All right. If you don't want to have me play it online, just say don't play it online, James. All right. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you.
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Don't pull right down the side, piece, yeah.